The United States is lifting all remaining sanctions against Syria. President Donald Trump made the announcement after meeting with allies in Saudi Arabia today. He also said that he would meet with Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, on Wednesday. Western nations have been under pressure to lift sanctions on Damascus to help Syria's new government rebuild after more than a decade of civil war. The United Nations has welcomed the lifting of sanctions as a step forward.
It was important for us to see relief on sanctions on Syria, to help the reconstruction of Syria, to help the Syrian people recover from more than a decade of conflict, a decade of underinvestment. And we continue to support the reconstruction, whether it's physical or psychological, of Syria, for it to be a country where all Syrians of all faiths, of all ethnicities and minorities feel safe and represented.
Well, we want to bring in now Natasha Hall. She's a senior fellow with the Middle East program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. It's good to have you back on the program. What do you make of Donald Trump's announcement?
I think it's finally the historic statement and peace offering that we've been waiting for to meet this historic moment of the fall of the House of Assad. There have been many that have been clamoring for removing sanctions at the very least in order to assist Syria with rebuilding the country and really remove barriers so that it can work with all actors and not just other sanctioned players like Russia and Iran.
And for Syrians, how much of a pivotal turning point will this be? That's what the Syrian foreign minister said today.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the devil will be in the details. This was a very public announcement in Riyadh. So that alone, I think, provides some tacit approval for Gulf countries that have wanted to invest in Syria, but have been worried about the U.S. reaction to any kind of investment. So that's the first thing we'll see. But there's really multiple layers of sanctions and terrorism designations on Syria going all the way back to 1979. So this won't be an immediate lifting of all sanctions. It will take time. We still haven't heard what this portends for example, the foreign terrorism designation, the specially designated terrorist designation, the state sponsor of terrorism designation. There's quite a few that need to be untangled and unraveled. And that doesn't even go for the UN Security Council sanctions on HTS and al-Sharaa. So quite a few steps need to be taken. But this is a very, very positive move, and great to see that it was done so publicly in Riyadh.
And a stronger or a recovering Syria, what will that mean for the greater region?
I mean, this will be beneficial all around. Countries like Lebanon and Jordan and others will be able to trade with Syria, move through Syria. So this could potentially be a boon to their economies as well. If we see more investment, we could see more returns, refugee returns to Syria as well. So this can only be beneficial, I think, because if we had a sanctioned Syria for years on end, we could see a return to nefarious activities that the Assad regime was implicated in, like the Captagon trade, drug trafficking, and other things in order to evade sanctions. So this is a really positive development for the region overall.
There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump being the transactional U.S. president. In view of that, what will Trump get for lifting these sanctions?
Well, I think it was President Trump's inclination to actually engage with the Syrian government and meet this historic opportunity. You have a government in Damascus for the first time in many years that is actually hostile to dealing with Iran. So there's that there's that moment as well. But I think it's of no surprise that this is coming from Riyadh, where we've seen billions of dollars of deals that Trump has announced as well. In addition to, I think, other deals that will be announced in Qatar and the UAE in the next few days. So I think that there's a lot to be gained all around, but it was great to see that Crown Prince MBS had, seemingly pushed this forward and seems to be very much on board with this statement.
Natasha Hall, as always, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.